Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're going to go ahead and run back the playthrough of Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight. For a refresher, in case you were tuning in earlier this afternoon, we're playing heroes in the Marvel Comics universe, taking on villains in the same. Once again, we are taking on Absorbing Man. Here's a look at his Stage 1 card. Schemes for 1, attacks for 2, and Absorbing Man gains the trait of each environment in play. You know I beat Thor once? Picture that. Crusher Creel standing over the God of Thunder, and you think you scare me? His scheme is None Shall Pass. 12 per player, so 24. Forced response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 delay counter here. Forced interrupt. When an environment leaves play, discard each other environment card in play. And if this stage is completed, the players lose the game. And the environment we're starting with is Dense Forest Wood. Forced response. After Absorbing Man makes an undefended attack against you, take 1 indirect damage, 2 if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme. Heroes we are playing are, first up, we've got Jean Grey, aka Phoenix. Hand size of 6, 9 HP, recovers for 3, and a special response with that. Setup, put your Phoenix Force upgrade into play, restrained side face up. Place 4 power counters on it. And response, after you make a basic recovery, place 1 power counter on Phoenix Force. Then looking at Phoenix Force, you gain the restrained trait. Forced response, after the last power counter is removed from here, flip this card. We'll be using dice to represent that. Teaming up with Phoenix is Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. 9 hit points, hand size of 6, recovers for 3, and mission prep is her special ability response. After you play a preparation card, draw 1 card, limit once per phase. Okay, I think we are all set to get into this one. So let's jump right in. Once again, I'm using dials for health, and also for the threat on the main scheme. And I've got dice all over the place. So let's jump right in and get into this playthrough. First thing we're going to do is we're going to flip Jean Grey into Phoenix. Thwarts for 3, attacks for 1, defends for 2. Psionic Bond, heroic resource. Remove a power counter from Phoenix Force to generate a wild resource, limit once per phase. Then for her first card, she's going to spend 2 into the phrase to play out a Psychic Assault. Play only if your identity has the psionic trait. Hero trait as an attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy, confuse that enemy. So that will bring Absorbing Man down to 25 and will confuse him. So the next time he tries to thwart or scheme, we discard that card instead. So the scheme essentially does nothing. Then she's going to... Actually, we're going to pay for that a little bit differently. We're going to keep one of the end of the phrase and pay a counter from Phoenix Force. Then I'm going to actually spend the end of the... Actually, it's really 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Either way, I'm going to pay the other 2 psychic blasts along with the counter from Phoenix Force to now play a telekinetic attack to hit him for 7 damage. If we were to have the Unleashed trait, we'd deal 2 additional damage and gain overkill. Poor fool, you have no idea how hopelessly outmatched you are. Phoenix, so another 7 damage brings him down to 18. Then she's going to attack for another 1 to bring him down to 17. And that will do for Phoenix. Now moving over to Black Widow. She is going to pay an Inspired and a Leadership skill to play out Maria Hill. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 1, and a response after she enters play, each player draws a card. Believe it or not, we all want the same thing. Okay, play only if your identity has the Avenger trait, which she does on Black Widow's side, and then Phoenix. Okay, don't hate that. Then Natasha will flip into Black Widow. 2s across the board, thwart, attack, and scheme. Widowmaker is her ability. Response. After you trigger the ability of a preparation card you control, deal 1 damage to an enemy. My name is Madame Natasha, but you can call me Black Widow. Alright, then she's going to pay a band together for 1 resource to play out Stinger. 1s across the board, play only if your identity has the Avenger trait. Stinger doesn't count against your ally limit. Then we're going to attack with both Maria and Stinger for 2 more damage, bringing Absorbing Man down to 15. Both of them are going to take a damage back. Then we're going to pay our last band together. 1's going to float away. We're ready for action. We're going to give one of our allies a tough status card. I will give that to Maria, I think. Then, actually, Black Widow will also attack for 2 to bring Absorbing Man down to 13. So we'll ready up. Then Phoenix will draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's not totally terrible. Then, since Black Widow's Jazz Hands, she will draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this has the potential to be a very explosive turn coming up. Absorbing Man gets 1 on his main scheme. He's attacking Phoenix. Black Widow's going to throw Stinger in the way of this one, and it'll be 1 plus card. 1 plus 2 is 3, so Stinger will take that one to the face. And then since he made a defended attack, his forced response doesn't happen. Then he's attacking Black Widow. Maria is going to jump in the way of this one for 2 plus card. 2 plus 1 is 3, but if he has the Stone or Wood trait, and he does, Black Widow's stunned. And then Maria's tough status is gone. Then we'll deal out encounter cards. First up for Phoenix, we find an Icy Grip. When revealed, you're stunned, so Phoenix will be stunned. If he has the Ice trait, we also take 2 indirect damage, but we don't. And then Black Widow's encounter card is Rocky Outcrop, which is a Surge. So that goes into play. Now, the forced response is after Absorbing Man makes an undefended attack against you, heal 1 damage from him, 2 instead if there are 5 delay counters on the main scheme, which I did forget to put the delay counter on there. So our next card, since that had Surge, is an Avalanche when revealed. When revealed, each player must choose to either spend an energy resource or take 2 indirect damage. 3 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on there, and it's got an acceleration icon. Let's see, energy resources. Well, Black Widow can discard a Get Ready. As for Phoenix, does she have anything she can discard? She is going to take 2 indirect damage because her only card right now is a Strength, and I want to keep that for later. So that'll bring us into our next round, where Black Widow will be our first player. She's going to attack to get rid of Stunned. Mostly because I just drew a card I really want to play this turn. So I'm going to pay a Moxie, a Safe House. Actually, I'm going to pay 2 Moxies and a Safe House number 29 for Dance of Death as a hero action to make the following 3 attacks in order. 1, then 2, then 3 damage, which is Absorbing Man taking 6 to the face and going down to 7. Because that seems like a thing that we might want to do here. Then, since she's going to get a refill on hands, and I'm deciding if I want her to flip. She's probably fine staying in hero form. That way I can throw Maria in front of the attack. As for Phoenix, moving over to Phoenix. Let's just ping to get rid of stunned. Then I think she's going to flip. And that will be it for the turn. That way we can actually use confused and put another psychic assault up. So we are going to ready everything up. Since Black Widow is completely jazz hands, she's going to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Again, not total garbage, but mostly garbage. Phoenix is going to discard 2 cards and draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, 2 threat going up on the main scheme because of the acceleration icon. He's attacking Black Widow. Maria will jump in the way of this one. 2+ card. 2+1 is 3. Maria is very much going to bite it. And then he would try to scheme against Phoenix, but confused goes away. Then we deal encounter cards out. Black Widow's encounter card, once I remember to put the delay counter on None Shall Pass, is a Hydra Soldier. Guard. While this minion is engaged with you, you can't attack the villain. When defeated, deal the engaged player an encounter card and 4 health. As for Phoenix, she's got a Hydra Regular with an Incite 1. And when this card is revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme going up to 4. When you consider the kind of person who would join a terrorist organization bent on world domination, it's easy to see why Hydra's troops don't impress. Jessica Drew. Phoenix is our first player, so let's jump into this. Let's see what we want to do here. So, So that Hydra Soldier is going to be a bit of a problem, but probably not a big one. How do we want to do this is the question. Well, I think her first order of business is going to be flipping back to Phoenix. Then how do we want to do this? So I think what we're going to do first is we're going to use... I think we'll use a strength for 2 resources to play a Relentless Assault. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid for this card using a combat resource, this attack gains overkill. Excess damage from this attack is dealt to the villain. We'll deal that to the Hydra Soldier, which will take that out. It'll also deal Black Widow an encounter card, but we will take another 1 damage off of Absorbing Man. Then she's going to pay... We could actually flip him over to stage 2 if we wanted to, but I don't think we do right now. I'll pay 2 resources from an energy for another Psychic Assault. So we'll deal 3 more damage to Absorbing Man, and he will get confused once again. Then she's going to spend a resource from Phoenix Force to play out Phoenix Firebird. As an action, she can choose to either remove a power counter from Phoenix to ready Phoenix or place 2 counters on Phoenix Force. Actually, let's do this in a different order. Phoenix is going to thwart for 3, bringing that down to 1. And now we're going to use a power counter from Phoenix Force to pay for the Phoenix Firebird. And I'll take another power counter off to ready Phoenix, at which point we will... I could get rid of the Avalanche right now, so the acceleration isn't a problem. And Black Widow can take out that Hydra Regular on her turn anyway. Yeah. And then we can do quite a bit of setup here with Black Widow. So let's do that. Let's take the opportunity to get rid of the Avalanche. We'll go ahead and discard that and defeat that scheme, so that way we don't have the problem of the acceleration icon. And then that's it for Phoenix. Moving over to Black Widow, she'll start by punching the Hydra Regular for 2 damage. Then she's going to pay 2 resources, a ready for action, and a get ready to play a grappling hook, so we have some defense from the encounter deck. Then we're going to pay an inspiring presence to play attack acrobatics. Hero attack, hero interrupt on an attack. When a boost card is turned face up, discard attack acrobatics to cancel the boost icons on that card. Deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. Then do I want to flip somebody over into alter ego form? It would be Black Widow, but I need to be on hero side to use these 2 cards. So no, we're not going to flip her over. Instead, we're going to go ahead and ready everything up. Phoenix is quite happy with her hand, so she's going to draw 4 cards. We're probably going to be flipping Absorbing Man over on his next turn. On our next turn, I should say. So, okay, not completely unhappy with her hand. And then Black Widow is completely jazz hand, so she will draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. I think we are all set there. So when he gets 1 threat on his turn, he's going to be attacking Phoenix. She will... what's she going to do with this? She's going to... Is she going to defend is the question. And I think the answer to that is it would be healing 1 damage. No, she's not going to defend. So 2 plus card. 2 plus 1 is 3. So she will take 3 damage, go down to 4. And then that is going to heal 1 damage from him. So he's back up to 4. And then Black Widow's taking this attack. She will not defend either. So she's taking 2 plus 2 is 4. And I'm not sorry to see Burning Hunger go away. So down to... Actually... You know what? Here's what we're going to do instead. We are going to take the 2 damage from that, but we're going to discard Attack Acrobatics since we revealed a boost card. So we cancel the boost icons on the card and deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. So that's 2 damage. Counter card. Second card for Black Widow. Phoenix's first encounter card is Stall Tactics. When revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme for every 2 delay counters on the main scheme. We only have 1. Well, we only have 2 delay counters, so we only put 1 threat. And if no threat was placed this way, this card gains Surge. So Black Widow's now got to live through 2 encounter cards. Hydra Regular, which is an Incite 1, putting another threat up. We saw that earlier and defeated it handily. Second card, Gang Up. When revealed, the villain, and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Also, we did trigger a prep card, so that brings deal 1 damage to an enemy. Since the Hydra Regular was not out at the time we canceled Attack Acrobatics, that has to go on Absorbing Man, bringing him down to 1. Gang Up. Yeah, I think we'll bite the bullet, take an attack here. The Hydra Regular, she's not going to defend. She'll take 2 damage. As for Absorbing Man, Black Widow's not going to defend that either, so 2 plus card will be 0 for 2 damage. Down to 3. And we heal a damage from Absorbing Man, so that brings him back up to 2. And now we come back over to Black Widow as our first player. We can very easily turn him over into phase 2, and I think we are. Do we have a resource card? And do we have a resource card in the discard pile that we might want? Because we can definitely pay for Beast very easily. Let me just look in my discard pile so I can figure out what I want to do here. I'm probably going to be going into the deck for a resource. So our first order of business is going to be to use a Power of Leadership, which I'm going to double the resources on since I am paying for a leadership card. Inspiring Presence, and get ready to play Beast. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, 3 health. Response: after Beast enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a resource card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Oh, my stars and garters. So we're going to grab we'll grab a Genius. Just so I have a 2 resource card in the... Just so I have a 2 resource card in the hand, just on general principles. Let's see. Then, after that, once I get this deck shuffled up, okay, I think after that, Beast is going to attack. We'll take out the Hydra regular. Then she's going to flip back into... Then she's going to flip back into Alter Ego form and heal for 3. 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I think that is going to be it for her. Coming over to Phoenix's turn. My timer just went off on the... on the dough balls for Mystical Munchies. So once this is over, I'm going to be finishing that up. Let's see. So we're about to get the Unleashed trait, which is actually quite exciting. So I think with that in mind, we are going to pay the last resource on Phoenix Force. Actually, are we about to get it? I think the answer to that is, well, it's going to be yes. And a... yeah. And a Phoenix Suit to play No Quarter. I have to spend a combat resource to play this, and I'm playing nothing but combat resources. Deal 4 damage to an enemy, which is going to be the villain. For each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by this attack, and we're dealing 2, discard the top of card of your deck and add each aggression card discarded this way to your hand. So he's down to... So stage 1 has been defeated. And then we get 2 cards. We get 1 red card. That's a Relentless Assault. So now we're flipping Absorbing Man over to phase 2. Schemes for 2, attacks for 2, and he gains the trait of each environment in play. When revealed, if Super Absorbing Power is in play, deal 1 encounter card to each player. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Super Absorbing Power and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck if it was shuffled this way. So we are going to have to search the encounter deck for Super Absorbing Power. We'll get 6 threat out for that. And we'll see that Creel has the ability to absorb the properties of multiple elements at once, but it requires intense concentration. So he gains the ice, metal, stone, and wood traits. So we need to be very careful around that. I will reset his health once I get done shuffling the encounter deck, since we did search it. Because his health resets to 30. We will flip over Phoenix's Phoenix Force so we can see what Unleashed looks like and how it changes. So Phoenix gets -2 thwart and +2 attack. Force response: after a power counter is placed here, if there are 4 more power counters here, flip this card. So I've reset his health to 30. And now we're going to start off by paying a Relentless Assault, a No Quarter, and She-Hulk for a telekinetic attack to deal 7 damage to an enemy. Unlike earlier when we played this, we have the Unleashed trait now, so we deal 2 additional damage and gain Overkill. which will hit Phoenix for another 9 damage, bringing, or not Phoenix, Absorbing Man for another 9 damage, bringing him down to 21. Phoenix will then flip, and she's going to heal for 3, which will put a power counter back on Phoenix Force. And then we'll ready everything up. He's going to get some threat, but I don't think there's really much we can do about that. Looking at her hand, I'm happy with that, so we're going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I also forgot to deal an incidental damage to Beast. Okay. That looks moderately interesting. And then Phoenix is full jazz hand, so she will draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's not completely terrible. All right, 1 threat going up on the main scheme. He would try to scheme against Natasha Romanoff, but his confused goes away instead. So he is scheming against Phoenix for 2+ card. 2 plus 1 is 3 threats. So that brings him up to 11 threat on None Shall Pass. Then we deal encounter cards. First up for Natasha is a Steel Kick. When revealed, Alter Ego. Place 2 threat on the main scheme, 3 instead if Absorbing Man has the metal trait, and he does. He's got all of them, so 3 threat going up on the main scheme. And then for Phoenix, we have a Hydra Soldier. When defeated, deal the engaged player an encounter card. All right, so Phoenix will become our first player once again. And what do we want to do here? Doo-dee-doo. Well, I think we're going to start by... What are we going to start by doing? Let's pay a Chase Them Down and a Cyclops to play out a White Hot Room as an alter ego. Actually, it's a location. As an alter ego action, I can exhaust White Hot Room to choose one of the following. Either place a counter on Phoenix Force or heal 2 damage from Jean Grey. Okay. Then she is going to flip. Is she going to flip? Actually, she is going to use White Hot Room to heal 2 damage. That'll bring her up to 9. Then she's going to flip into Phoenix. Then what is she going to do? She needs to take out that Hydra Soldier is what she needs to do. So to do that, she's going to use a Power of Aggression to play another Relentless Assault. We're using the Power of Aggression as a combat resource, since Relentless Assault is sensitive to how we pay for that to defeat the Hydra Soldier. So that's gone. 1 damage will go onto Absorbing Man, bringing him down to 20. Phoenix will end up with an encounter card out of that. Then she's going to attack for 3 to bring him down to 17. Okay, and then that is all Phoenix can do. As for Natasha Romanoff, I think the play here is probably going to be just to defeat the super absorbing power this turn. So, I think with that in mind, she's going to start off by having Beast thwart that scheme for 2, bringing it down to 4. Beast takes another incidental damage. Then she's going to pay a Genius and a Black Widow's Gauntlet to play a Covert Ops as an action thwart. Remove 4 threat from a scheme, confuse the villain. It's all about calculating how willfully blind a person is going to be, and then exploiting that. Natasha Romanoff. So super absorbing power goes away, which means he doesn't have all the traits anymore. Then reduce the cost by 1 for each preparation card. She is going to Actually, she could clean herself out of resources if I want to play the Winter Soldier. And I think I do. So I can reduce the cost to play Winter Soldier by 1 for each preparation card you control, which I control a grappling hook. I'll pay an energy and an attack acrobatics to play out Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 2, takes an incidental damage back either way. And then we're using the grappling hook to pay the last of the cost. You shot at Natasha. That was your last act on Earth, pal. So he's got 4 health. He's going to... If we flip and attack, we're basically committing... If we flip and attack, we're basically committing to trying to kill him before he schemes out. Which is not a terrible idea, because we are going to be making... He's not going to be making any defended attacks, because I'm going to throw both of my allies in the way. So she is going to... Winter Soldier is going to attack for 2 to bring him down to 15. Then Natasha is going to flip and attack for another 2 to bring her down to 13. To bring him down to 13. Then we're going to ready everything up. And Phoenix is Jazz Hand. Actually, she's got 1 card in hand, which she's going to keep, I think, and draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can probably work with that. Yeah, this should be fine. And then Black Widow is Jazz Hand, so she will draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I don't totally hate that. I just mostly hate that. 1 threat going up on the scheme for Absorbing Man's turn. Another delay counter. He is going to make an attack against Phoenix. Beast is going to jump in the way of this one as it's 2+ card. 2+. If he has the Ice or Metal trait as a boost, give him a Tough status card. He does not, because we got rid of Super Absorbing Power. He's got the Stone trait right now, and Beast is taking that one to the face. Then he's making an attack against Black Widow. Winter Soldier is going to jump in the way of this one. And we are dealing 2 + 2 is 4. Winter Soldier will take that one to the face. Dealing encounter cards, so this should go to Phoenix first. Phoenix has 2 encounter cards to live through. Omnimorph Duplication, he's got Stone. So give Absorbing Man a face-down boost card, which that'll be his next boost. And then Black Widow, Piercing Thorns. When revealed, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If Absorbing Man has the Wood trait, discard 1 card you control. I think we're going to protect her hand. Actually, are we going to protect her hand? Yes, we are going to protect her hand. So I'm going to use Grappling Hook to cancel the Piercing Thorns, discarding it and dealing 1 damage to Absorbing Man. And then Phoenix's second encounter card, Caught Off Guard. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support you control. Unfortunately, that will get rid of the White Hot Room, but I think at this point we're committing to basically trying to race his threat, which we probably are going to have an easier time doing than I expect right now. But let's see. We are over to Black Widow as our first player. Let's use a leadership skill to pay for Black Widow's gauntlets. As a resource, exhaust Black Widow's gauntlet to generate a wild resource for a preparation card. Not only are they lethal, but they look good too. We'll immediately exhaust that for a wild resource to play out a Widow's Bite. Hero's response on an attack. After a minion enters play, discard Widow's Bite to deal 2 damage to that minion and stun it. Excuse me. Nighty-night, Black Widow. Then she's going to attack for 2 to bring Absorbing Man down to 10. And then I think that will be it for Black Widow. Now let's see if Phoenix can soften him up a little bit more. She is going to start with... Actually, what is she going to do? Actually, do we just kill him here? 2, 3. This is, well, I'm trying to figure out if we can just kill him here, because he's got 10 health. Phoenix is dealing 3. I think the lowest I can get him, depending on how I do this, is 1. Actually, maybe if I sequence this correctly, I might be able to do it. So we'll start. Well, let's start with an attack for 3. Actually, let me think about this for a little bit. I need that resource on Phoenix Force to use Thor to her best effect. I don't think, actually, if I do 2. Okay, no, I think I know how I do this. Actually, do I? Because I can either ready her or put 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. I can't do both. I think the lowest I can get him is probably more realistically going to be 4. I'm trying to take a. I don't think there's an aggressive line here where I can get him down to 1, because I can't have that Phoenix Force counter do both. Do both be a wild resource to pay for Thor and be able to ready Phoenix. So, let's see. No, and actually, this would have the added benefit of putting an ally out on the board. Let's see, that's heal 1 damage from him. So we're probably going to be he's probably going to get at least 1 undefended attack here. So let's go ahead and start off with an attack for 3, bringing him down to 7. I can't do math tonight. Then we're going to pay a Spider Girl. Actually, if I do that, I would have to. Actually, this probably works too. So I'll pay a Spider Girl to play Phoenix Firebird. As a hero action, I can choose to either remove a power counter from Phoenix Force to ready Phoenix, or place 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. I'm going to put 2 power counters on Phoenix Force. Then I'm going to spend my Genius, my Mind Control, and a resource from Phoenix Force as a combat resource to play out Thor, Jane Foster. Thwarts for 1, attacks for 2, 4 health. Response: after you play Thor from your hand, deal 2 damage to the villain, 3 instead if you paid for this card using a combat resource. You want to eat my hammer? Then by all means, take a big bite. We're doing 3 damage because we used the resource from Phoenix Force as a combat resource, bringing him down to 4. Then Thor will attack, bringing him down to 2. And that's everything we can do on the turn. So we will ready all of this up. Black Widow has got 2 cards in hand, both of which she'll discard. Actually, she'll keep the Power of Leadership and draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And get basically garbage. And then Phoenix's total Jazz Hands, she will draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. He gets 1 threat at the start of his turn, and then 1 threat, and then 1 delay counter. He's attacking Black Widow. Both of these are going to be boost cards for that. Thor's going to jump in the way of this attack. She should have taken 1 damage back, by the way, but that isn't going to matter in the grand scheme of things because Thor is about to take it to the face. very aggressively. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and a boost if there are 5 or more delay counters, there is only 4. Burn Notice goes away as a boost card. Thor goes Toodaloo. And then Phoenix is taking this attack. She's going to say, bring it on. 2, he's going to heal. He'll heal 1, but Phoenix already does 3 base. So she's going to take this attack to the face. This will be 2 plus 1 is 3. So she'll take 3 damage, go down to 6. We will heal 1 from Absorbing Man because of the Rocky Outcrop. Then dealing counter cards. As long as we survive this, Phoenix kills him on her next turn. So let's see what Black Widow gets. We get a Snowy Hillside. So now the force response is after an undefended attack. Place a threat on the main scheme 2 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters. So Black Widow's got a Surge, and the villain schemes. He's scheming for 2 plus card, which is now an abandoned facility, so 2 threat. And the response here is after Absorbing Man makes an undefended attack against you, discard a resource card from your hand. 2 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme. And then Phoenix, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Ball and Chain, attached to Absorbing Man. +1 on scheme and attack. Hero action, spend a combat resource to shuffle that back into the deck. But that's not going to matter because Phoenix is our first player this turn. She will just turn, all she's going to do is turn sideways and slap Absorbing Man down to 0 health. And I think it was probably just going to be starting to put out some defensive cards for Phoenix to make sure everybody was all set. So that will do it for this playthrough of Marvel Champions, and we managed to even the score against Absorbing Man. As I mentioned, the timer for the dough balls on Mystical Munchies just went off, so I'm going to go film Mystical Munchie. I'm going to go finish Mystical Munchies tonight. We'll probably have that'll probably be after I clean all of this up. I think we're going to do at least one product unboxing tonight as well, while Mystical Munchies is exporting from Adobe. Hopefully I can do another one later tonight. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to upload Mystical Munchies overnight tonight, or if I'm going to try to upload that yet tonight before I go to bed. We'll see what I think. Tomorrow morning is going to be kind of a baseball day, or tomorrow's going to be kind of a baseball day, as in the morning, we're going to be visiting Baltimore for a game of inside pitch baseball between the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. Then in the afternoon, we're going to debut a new baseball game on the channel as we play Fall Classic Baseball by ASG Games. That will be a National League matchup between the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Diego Padres. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.